Fantasy Blind Spot, where we shine the light on what you can't see. He's a cornerstone piece. He's a guy you're going to want on your fantasy team.
It's all about them splash plays.
Oh my God, did that just happen? I can't believe he made that catch.
He's got that big playability.
The football gods made this guy to play football.
All right, so he's just an explosive runner. He's one of those guys that when he gets in the open space, he just puts his foot in the ground and he's gone. What's up, what's up? Welcome into Fantasy Blind Spot, where we shine the light on things you can't see. I am the Blind Guy. You can find me on X at @theblindguyff. With me, as always, is my co-host, the crazy Canadian Shawn Thompson. You can find him on X at Maximus8911. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Remember, hit that like and subscribe. We're new to video, so it helps us a ton. How you doing, bud?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Not too bad. It's back to the 2 shows a week. I think we forgot to mention that, but it's Friday. Got to take the girls school shopping yesterday, so not too bad. And we got friends in town from out of town this weekend, so get to hang out with them tomorrow too. So
nice.
How's your weekend?
It's been going all right. Went and took I don't know what to call him, but it's my ex-step kid's kid. So I don't know what that makes it to me.
Yeah.
But I still like keep a conversation, whatever. And I think he's
Right.
hilarious. So he's 5. So I took him out. I had a day yesterday with him. Took him around. We went mini putting
Nice.
to an aquarium where it's like a kids play area where they could touch like starfish and that.
Oh, that's cool.
See beavers and otters, so he enjoyed it. And then the whole time he's like, "Can we go back to your place and play Avengers?" Because he lived here for a bit, and we'd play Avengers if he was good. I was like, "Well, let's just stay here for a little bit. If you want to go, then we'll go play Avengers." And he's like, kept bugging, so I'm like, "Fine, let's go to my place and play Avengers for a bit." So we did that. And went for ice cream. Then I brought him back. But...
There you go.
And then tomorrow I'm checking out this ancient cave system that I just found out about. That's about 40 minutes from my house. Not even, maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to go in there, and it's got like underground water reserves and everything that the natives used back in like early, before the years 1000, like Mayan times, to basically is what it seems like. But not
go spelunking?
Well, it's not even like that. It's like,
really?
It's a cave system, right? I don't, you know, like monolith, what is it called? What's that one they called there in Kansas City? The big, huge one. Monolithic cave or something like that.
Mammoth cave.
That's it. So it's kind of like that, but a lot smaller, obviously. Okay. And then it's got a river that seems to be running through it with crystal clear fucking water.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, I can see why this is used, but I want to go check it out in case the earth ever goes to shit. So I know where I'm going. Plan A. We're going to try to get here and live there because no matter what happens on the earth, there's fresh water there. We can hide down there.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be like a hard spot to find unless you know where it is too. So we'll see. And that's it's on an Indian reserve. So they've kept that secret.
So you know it. Yeah.
Recently opened this up.
Yeah, that's cool. You also know that it's going to be protected if it's on a reserve like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we've had some interesting stuff go on the last couple of days. As we got these Ukraine scientists said that they saw 20 UFOs entering the moon. I got a picture up here, but it seems to be like infrared or something like that. They've got the moon. It's yellow and turquoise and blue. And then they've got all these white dots, which I guess those are the UFOs. That they saw from this telescope. But then I also saw, since they've dropped this one, that there was somebody else that caught from the States in one of their privatized, like it's not a government owned telescope.
Yeah, just some civilian.
And caught a UFO entering a crater. Like a single one. And that was like the next day after these UFO scientists from Ukraine said it.
Well, that's weird.
Very weird.
I don't know. And you know, Ukraine's watching the sky a ton too, with all the stuff going on between them and Russia.
So, oh, exactly. And all those drones we gave them to go terrorize everybody else. It's just like, what the hell are we doing?
Well, they're making their own now too, which is even crazier. Like they're selling them to other people. Yeah,
that's just nuts. And then we had SpaceX Falcon 9 crashed and made a 100-foot crater on the moon last night too.
That's kind of crazy. I guess keep an eye on that crater, see if any ships go that direction. You got a big one there.
Be pretty goddamn interesting. And then did you see Mike McCarthy talking about Aaron Rodgers and how he just blasted ESPN and Disney, basically?
No.
Like,
No,
have
I
you
did
seen the
not.
full Aaron Rodgers thing? Like, I know we talked about it last episode with the Fosse and I plead the fifth.
Yeah, so I did see the one that you sent me, which I thought was awesome, and I sent it to my group of friends because I don't think all of them saw it either.
Oh yeah, well, he
But
gets a bit worse. Like when you
oh,
watch the whole thing, he gets a
yeah,
bit worse. Not much worse, but a bit worse than that.
yeah.
And he's basically like, "How much coverage did you give me, Jared? Friggin'
Oh yeah, that was in there.
sort of stuff. You every friggin'
Yeah,
you talked about it, and then Fosse, you're not even giving it any coverage when he pleads
yeah.
on a friggin' pardon. He's like, "Come
Yep.
on!" Like, and then he starts bringing up Deanna Rusasi and like the coach there,
Rossini.
Vrabel, and
Oh yeah,
just like, oh yeah, he's calling it point blank how it is, and
yep.
he's freaking right. And then off of that, you had stemmed off. Sophie Cunningham jumped on board with that, and she's saying, "Why are you taking this all away from the basketball? Like my team right now is on a streak that's never been seen in the WNBA. We're breaking all kinds of records, but you're not talking about that. You're talking about some comment that I made at the beginning of the summer in the off season that was perfectly timed to come during the season just to create chaos for us. But you're not talking about how we're just playing above all that and doing
Right.
basketball." So I think these athletes are getting smart enough to see what's coming up.
Yeah, it seems that way, and that's a good combination between the two, and they're both right in this situation. Like they're not saying anything that's like opinionated one way or anything like that. It's like, look, just look at these two situations we've got. So did McCarthy add to it?
Well, what McCarthy said was, I coach grown-ass men. Grown-ass men all have different opinions, and I'm here to keep the team focused on football, and ended it there.
Good for him.
Yep. I thought it was a lot of balls for a coach that I have no respect for.
Yeah, for sure. You give him a little more respect there.
So it was pretty good. Did you catch any of the Hall of Fame game?
Some of it. So interestingly enough, so we get home and I turn it on, and I don't know if the channel switched at halftime or something, but I'm sitting there at halftime when it's 17-17, and there's talking about Tom Brady, and it started with like all of this class's Hall of Fame, and it was Brady interviewing them in the hall before they went out at halftime of the Super Bowl. So it was pre-recorded. And so I'm hearing the Hall of Fame class talk and Brady talk, and then it just keeps talking about Brady and Brady and Brady. So I missed the entire third quarter because I was like, wait a second, why is this still on Tom Brady? And I asked my wife, and she's like, let me see that remote. And we looked at it, and it somehow was on a totally different channel, just talking about some other Hall of Fame thing. But it was all Brady. I'm like, why? Why are we talking about Brady right now?
There was
a heck of a game, though.
It was a weird halftime. Yeah, it was a pretty good game. Like two things that jumped out to me were two of the rookie quarterbacks. Haynes King, when he came in for Carolina after Kenny Pickett went down, like he went 21 for 34, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 39 and got a touchdown in, which is just what he did in college, because we talked about him all the time in the NCAA, what he did. And he's got a lot of years playing. He was calm, did the check downs, made the throws that he could make when he could make them, and didn't make any piss poor decisions. Like, I thought he played great, man. I think he played better than Kenny Pickett.
So I didn't see any of Kenny Pickett, but by the time I got to the game, because like I said, we took the girls shopping yesterday, Pickett was already out and Haynes King was in. So to add to that, I love that the Panthers let Haynes King play the entire rest of the game. And the most impressive part, aside from the fact he showed you he's actually got a cannon with that 60-yard bomb he hit, was the fact that he ran that 2-minute drill with, what was it, like 52 seconds left, and they get a walk-off touchdown to win it. One of the things that added to it in that final quarter, he had a series where he missed Jimmy Horn wide open in the end zone. Did you see him miss that throw?
No. I stopped watching like probably at the end of the third.
Okay, so that was right around the time he missed that throw, was mid to late fourth quarter. So he misses Jimmy Horn. Jimmy Horn's wide open by like 15 yards. Like you could tell he had some motion. It confused the defense enough that they didn't even know what happened. King missed the throw by like a mile. They then get the ball back, and that's when he orchestrates that. I think there was 50 seconds or just over a minute left on the clock, and he goes right down the field, and they score a walk-off touchdown as time expires to win the game. and he stayed calm and collected. And that was one of the things I appreciated about it is like, dude, you're showing some growth here, because in college, I'm not sure you would have done that. And especially your first professional game, you're missing a wide open touchdown pass to come back and then win it later.
Well,
Like, good for
let's
him,
not
man.
forget
He's
who
having a
he
heck of
had
a
as
night.
pass catchers in college. It's a lot harder for them to get open than what he got now. So yeah,
That is
he
true.
ran a lot more in college. So I was impressed how he
Mm.
stayed in the pocket. So there was definitely some growth there. The other guy that really jumped out to me was Carson Beck. He went 15 for 19, 188, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Like, I know if you missed the Kenny Pickett stuff, you missed a lot of Carson Beck stuff within the pocket, where you see him looking down the field, but he progressed through his reads and he ended up with his check down guys several times because the plays just weren't there, it wasn't open. And then when they were there, he put it in some tight windows sometimes. Like, he pressed it when he needed to press it, and he didn't press it when he didn't. And it made good decisions. He didn't hurt the team at all. Yeah, they lost, but Carson Beck played well. Him and Canes King were the 2 best players on that field as far as I'm concerned.
Like I said, I didn't get to see a whole lot of Beck, but everything you're saying makes it sound like the 2 of them were. And I know what I saw from Haynes King was a lot better. And like you said, work in the pocket, and wasn't just looking to run. He was looking to run so that he could throw it. And I think it was Al Michaels even called that out. That, look, this is a guy in college that he was known for his rushing ability at Georgia Tech, but you can see now he's not scrambling to run. He's scrambling to make room to throw.
Yep.
So that's big, especially in your first game, because that's a major change to make in off season when you're still learning the offense. And obviously it's Hall of Fame game, so it's super simplified offense. But so far, that good look from both rookie quarterbacks.
Yep, for sure. Well, alrighty. Well, I got the list here that I thought I had last time loaded up on the 49ers injuries.
Okay.
So here we go. We got Mike Evans, quad, Striblin, hamstring, Pearsall, knee, out for season, Kirk, calf, James, rib, Black, abdominal, Nikhil Kamara, knee, Keon White, abdominal, Malik Mustafa, hamstring, lower ankle, Halton, knee bruise, Farmer, back, Kyle Shanahan, car accident, George Kittle, Achilles, Brandon Ayuk, left roster list.
So all of those, I think there's only one in Jordan James that's actually a bone injury, right? All the rest are soft tissue.
Yep.
Knee,
So
quad, hamstring, calf.
I'm glad they're finally doing this study, man, of this freaking power plant thing this year, because it needs to move. Like, you can't tell me that this happened in every year, which, by the way, that power plant was made in 2014, was finally put into like use. And if you look at the Niners injury history, 2010, second most healthiest, 2011, fourth most healthiest, 2012, when they started building it, eighth most healthiest. And in 2013, before they put it in and it was almost done, they were 12th most happy, like healthiest. So it just, you see the decline. And then once 2014 comes, it's like most injured, second most injured, third most injured since that power plant has been put into like production. So you're never going to convince me that it's not that fucking power plant that's doing this to this team.
Well, even still, just to play devil's advocate, like, even if it's not that, like, correlation is not causation or whatever that means. Not what it means, but what that saying is. To add to that, even if it's not that, and that's totally unrelated, they haven't fired a strength or conditioning coach in as many years as I can remember. And if you're having all soft tissue injuries, even if they come out and say, like, no, it's not that, it's unrelated, how are you not changing your strength and conditioning regimen when this is all soft tissue stuff? Like, that can be addressed with strength and conditioning, where it's not just unlucky.
When you got the electromagnetism of the earth working against you, it's hard to do. All right, we got CBS put out a list I thought was interesting of the top 10 coaches entering 2026.
Okay.
So their top 3, man, and I've said all along, I think since I met you, the toughest division in football is the NFC West. We got top 3, Sean McVay, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan. Bo.
That's also
now, just with that alone.
Yeah.
Not even if this list is right or wrong, they still made the top 3. Do you think LaFleur for the Cardinals has a chance to go beyond 4 years?
Well, it depends on what kind of coach he is, but either way, that's a tough start.
Oh yeah.
Like, when you got 6 of your games are against those 3 coaches, oh boy, you better get tough quick.
Then we got the next two is Andy Reid, Sean Payton. Those two are in AFC West. So this is all on the West side right now.
Right.
And then we go to Ben Johnson, first one out of the two West. And then we're back to the West with Jim Harbaugh at 7.
Yeah, sounds about right.
This one I don't agree with. Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
These other two should be above him easy. DeMarco Ryans and Matt LaFleur.
Yeah. Trying to think of coaches that no Dan Campbell. Kind of surprising. I guess it's because he hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl.
I think Dan Campbell, because if you look at all these, they call their own plays.
Well, and Dan Campbell has.
He has, but not much. Like when the Lions got good, it was when Ben Johnson was calling the plays, right? Took it away from Campbell.
That's true. And last year when their offense got better, it was because he took over play calling again. That kind of soft firing, I think it was mid-season. Like, okay, this is not working. Let me call plays.
Yep, but he could get back to what Ben Johnson was doing more because he understands the system a little bit better that he developed for the Lions. So, pretty interesting.
Just to add to your comment about Vrabel, I think that's the fact he made the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, but I think that's just on Drake May.
Well, right, but the media, you know how they are, man. They got to give the coaches their credit.
Because with what Drake May had, man, no wide receivers. Let's face it. Booty was his best fucking wide receiver. There's nobody else really there.
Yep.
If you made the Super Bowl with that on the back of Ramonde Stevenson, like that's not coaching. That's your quarterback fucking raising the play of everybody on the field because it wasn't your play calling that got you there. It was Drake May's play.
And your quarterback with no receiver over 1,000 yards, 72% completion percentage, and his ADOT, or what was it? Not his ADOT, his depth. Well, I guess it would be his depth of like throws, yards per target. No, I can't think of the stat right now. I'm trying to blank. Yes, air yards per target was something like 9.2 or 9.6 or something. So he's throwing bombs and still completing 72%. Just craziness.
Yep. All right, we got one more we can do here. We can do top 10 players of all time.
Right.
Who is this one? I don't know who this one was put out by. Can't really see on this little picture, but so for the first 5, they've got Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown, and Peyton Manning. I don't know if I would have Peyton Manning on my top 10 NFL players of all time.
Yeah, and this, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what argument you would make for it is, I guess, impact on the game.
Well, the simplest argument for me on to being a top 10 player is you weren't clutch. You couldn't beat Tom Brady several times. Like you had to hope that somebody beat him out for you to win a Super Bowl and to get to the Super Bowl. So if you can't beat Tom Brady and these other guys that were in there, you're not that good. I don't want you. He was known as a choke friggin' guy. You know what I mean? Like just like Dan Marino. I don't want you. You can't win those big games. I want the guys in those big moments that can fucking, even though they're a superstar, somehow they find that next level. And Peyton Manning, although he was really great, really excellent, his superpower was his knowledge and what he knew on the football field. And he knew what the defenders were doing. Wasn't necessarily his play. You know what I mean? That
was also Tom Brady's super talent. But it's also funny that you hold that against Peyton Manning, that he was losing to the best to ever do it.
Well, I'm just saying you could have won a lot more, right? Like if he just
but that's what
games. Like there was games where Tom Brady, like look at the Falcons, 28-3, somehow brought that team back. Just kept doing what he needed to do. There's other games too. Like he just performed when he needed to perform when he had to do it. And if you put Peyton Manning in those same shoes, he always seemed to choke.
Well, when Peyton's defense, I don't think was as good as Tom Brady's even at its peak.
Oh, I would say it was better when they had Freeney and Matheson.
Yeah, that combo was deadly. But they still had areas that you could attack. Like their corners during that era, they had one good one. You could pick on the other one. Their linebacking core was, I always thought, kind of middle of the road. So you could attack the middle of the field against them. And I just think it's interesting. Like I get your point saying that he choked, but I don't know that it's choking if you're losing to the best to ever do it. Like it.
Well, it wasn't even just that. Those are just the playoff ones, right? But you think of like any big games, he just chokes. Like, that's what I remember about Peyton Manning. Watching him is just like anytime he was great, but anytime there was a big game, he seemed to choke. And then I believe the time he won the Super Bowl, he didn't even have to go, like with the Colts, he didn't even have to go through the Patriots.
I don't remember that one, so I'm not sure. I remember him losing to Drew Brees.
Yeah,
but we talk about that one a lot.
I'll have to look that one up when we get off the air here, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't against the Patriots because I remember thinking, well, that's the only reason he won. With the Broncos, I think one time that they made it, I'm not sure if this time he won or not, he did beat them. So this ends off with the last five: Joe Montana, Walter Payton, Reggie White, Johnny Unitas, and Ray Lewis. So here's the problem, which goes back to Peyton Manning again. How are you going to have fucking two Colts quarterbacks as some of the top players?
Because
you don't think Colts is a friggin' quarterback team.
It's a Colts fan.
Must be. But I would have Johnny Unitas on there over Peyton Manning.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, a lot of quarterback love.
And how you not got Bruce Smith on there? You know what I mean?
Just that's why top 10 conversations, like they're always fun conversations because there's so many players you could talk about. Eric Dickerson you could throw in there, LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, yeah, they're both running backs. How about where's the linebackers aside from Ray Lewis?
Yeah.
Or safeties. No safeties
Ed
on there.
Reed, Brian Dawkins, Ronnie Lott. Like, how's Ronnie Lott not on this list? There's a lot wrong with this list. My biggest thing would be Peyton Manning. Like I said, he wouldn't even come close to making the list for me. So then to be five would just be insane. I think they got the top four right with Brady, Rice, Taylor, and Brown. But then it starts going downhill after that. I would still have Walter Payton on there. I'd still have Ray Lewis. I'd put Bruce Smith in personally over Reggie White because I think Bruce Smith was a better player.
Yeah, he's one we've talked about quite a bit too.
And of course, Montana's going to make it for me.
Right.
All right. Well, let's get in, talk some ball.
Sounds good.
Time for the Grape Light, where we discuss what's happening around the league.
All right, welcome to the Grape Light. We got quite a few signings that have been happening here, and people have been getting paid. So right after we got off the air on Tuesday, Zay Flowers signed the deal, making him the top paid wide receiver in the NFL, which to me is absolutely ridiculous.
It's a crazy one. I don't know if you mentioned the terms, but 108 million guaranteed. So you're talking, was that 27 million a year?
Yeah.
Over the next 4.
Yep. Just insane money, like for a small, tiny wide receiver. And I know you said that he finished pretty high last year, but I still don't believe it. I don't believe it's going to happen again. You know what I mean? Especially once you got a new coordinator and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. We'll see if it pans out.
It's a lot of money.
Yep.
They keep paying receivers too, because they paid Bateman.
Yeah, which was a surprise.
Twice now?
No, he just got the one day.
Oh, I thought they did it again. I thought he got another extension of like another year or something like that.
This year?
I could be wrong.
Because he just signed that deal last year.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think it is. We also had Jahmyr Gibbs signed his deal after Bijan did. 3 years, $67.5 million, guaranteed $51.5. And he's still not a paid running back.
Oh, see, I saw something different. It said it was 75.5, and he was the top paid.
I think it can go up to that with incentives, but like if you're going off,
so is that 67
guaranteed money right now? Guaranteed money. Jeremiah Love makes the most in a season.
Oh well, yeah, because he just got picked 3rd overall, and they're going to pay him like $75 million or something crazy.
Yeah,
before they even hit that 5th year option.
Yeah, that's just insane for a running back. Like, you have to take a top running back to do that. Like, I don't think Gianti would have gone there. I wouldn't take Gianti there, but I'd probably take Love. And then after Gibbs got signed, Jonathan Taylor talked to his agent, said we need to renegotiate, and he got a 2-year deal worth $44 million.
Yep. Just crazy. What was it? Two off seasons ago, nobody wanted to pay running backs, and now they're getting all the money.
Yeah, well, somebody made a good point. It was like, if you go out there and by the average salaries, wide receivers 2 make on average $9 million more than top paid running backs a season. Defensive edges 3, like, so your third guy, not even the guy you're putting on the field. He's the guy who goes out there for your starters when they get tired. Makes $5 million more average a year than a running back.
See,
what are we doing? And we're not talking the average running back. We're talking the average top paid running back. So you take your top 5, like these, like Robinson, Gibbs, and all that, and they're $5 million more than them still. Like, what the hell are we doing here? So I'm like, that makes a good point. This running back touches the ball 20 to 30 times a game. That third defensive edge or that wide receiver 2, maybe the defensive edge is going to be in 10 plays if he's lucky, where he actually contributes. And
that's what I was just going to say.
2 would be 5 to 7.
Yep. That's what I was going to say is, too, just compare how many snaps those positions play and put a dollar amount on per snap. And those numbers are going to get even more egregious.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then we've got the Bears paid their right tackle, Darnell Wright, with 4 years, $141 million. That's
a lot of money.
Yep.
He had a great season. He's been a good run blocker for them. They found a spot.
Yep, that's what they need. And then the Falcons, after losing James Pierce, one of their first round defensive edges, to domestic violence. Jalen Walker is out for the season with what did he get? ACL, out for the season.
Yeah, that's tough. I have him in our 32 team league, but when you factor that in, to lose both those players off that defense, all of a sudden Stefanski's defense is not looking like he thought it was when he signed there.
No, but he doesn't care about defense.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
And then we had Stephon Diggs has signed with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, right after we were talking up Antonio Williams too.
Yep.
But I think that's great news for Daniels, and it actually helps out Terry, I think, because defenses can't just double Terry or bracket cover him. Now they've got Diggs to pay attention to, who ended up with a much better season than I expected last year. And where was he? New England, right?
Yep. You still got 2 wide receivers that are your top 2 guys over the age of 30.
Yeah, that's not great. But tough. That's the Dan Quinn way, right? Veterans.
That wasn't his way with the Falcons, but I think he learned a lot in that coaching thing where you're told you get so many years, but not really. So he's always, like he said, since he took over Washington, he's going for the Super Bowl every year. He doesn't care about building. He's going to build teams per year, and that's it. No long-term plans. Yeah, exactly. If you get fired because you can't allow your long-term plan to develop, you need to go a different route, right? Okay, that doesn't work. Let me go and see if I can make a team win with these veterans and guys out there that nobody else wants. And once I get that all in place, then I can go and draft the guys I want and take my time with them because I'll have the leeway to do it.
Yep. And we like the picks. New Bobby Wagner and Sonny Styles that he drafted this year, I think is going to be a great fit with his defense too. So,
yep. And then we also had Henry Tutu for the Texans, got paid 2 years, $16 million, who's been a okay middle linebacker for them. He's not their main guy, but rotational solid
defense.
Yep, for sure. And then Villa Vea, I don't know if you see this, he's demanded a trade to a West Coast team.
Oh, I didn't see the West Coast part. I saw that he demanded a trade.
Yeah, it was either the team on the West Coast or the Raiders. That's what he said. So I assume that's like San Francisco, LA, Seattle, San Diego, or not the Chargers. That'd be about it. And then so 5 teams.
That's kind of interesting to me. I guess you want a total change of pace if you want to change it, but who really has the leverage in this situation? Like, he's under contract for the year, and the team, like, if he says that he wants to go there, yeah, they could do right by him. But we also saw the 49ers approach, which was, okay, Ayuk, you're just going to go sit down in timeout. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, the Ayuk thing, in order for him to get back into the NFL now, he has to write a letter to the commissioner explaining all his actions. Like the list that they put him on, man, it is basically like an indefinite suspension.
Yeah, because he abandoned his team or whatever. what is that, left roster?
Yeah. So it's like,
yeah, I mean,
it's on the
I don't
same
dispute it.
level as like what I just say there, frick. Yeah, it's on the same level of as lifetime ban from the NFL.
I mean, which the NFL has every right to try to enforce there, because like you are reflecting on your business, and the business is the NFL. So they have interest in keeping their image the way that they want it to be, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I totally get it
Yeah.
and agree with it.
Yep. Just
But
interesting.
that's what we got for the news. Now you got the grapes. Go make the wine. Next 5. Who would you rather have over the next 5 years in the NFL? All right, we're in the next 5, and this one here, Alex, was given to me.
Yep. So we got running backs for you today, and you got the contracts up there. It's a lot of numbers to remember, so I'm going to give you the names, and then you can evaluate the contracts and see where you want to go here. Interestingly enough, when I came up with this, Jahmyr Gibbs did not have a contract yet. So that one was still blank, and at this point, I think we saw different numbers, so we'll see what turns up with that one. And then Bijan Robinson.
It was still blank, but I made the graphic too, I see.
Okay. So Bijan Robinson is another one, along with Jeremiah Love, Devon Achane, who just got his fat contract in Miami, really the only offensive player that's proven in Miami right now. And lastly, our second-year man out of Cleveland, Quinshon Judkins with the Browns.
Yep. So we'll go over their contracts here quickly, but we got Bijan Robinson. He's 24, 20 in 26. He's making 10 million, then 5.6, 28, 7.7, and 29 is 11 million. Gibbs was 5.6 to 14 million. Numbers have obviously changed with this new contract. There was nothing there in 28, 29. Achane 25, 3.1 million, 14 million, 17 million, 17 million. And Jeremiah Love, who's 21, 9.6, 12 million, 14 million, 16 million on that rookie deal, which is just crazy. And who knows what his 5th-year pickup option is.
Yeah, I think that 5th year is like 27 or 25. It's something crazy.
Insane. And then we got Quinshon Judkins, 23, 2.5, 3, 3.6.
No, that one, super cheap.
Yeah. Which would be normally the one I would pick, but coming off this knee injury, I want to see it before I would invest in him. So he's kind of off the list.
That's where I thought it got interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's the cheapest, but he is also coming off that pretty devastating injury.
Which is hard to evaluate, especially for a running back that needs that knee. So I need to see that before but he is one of my favorite running backs. A chance, I'm just not going to own him. I think it's going to be stack the box time, and he's not going to do what he's been doing because there's nothing to open him up. Like I would just put, if I'm the defender, I'm putting 8 in the box and forcing Malik Willis to throw the ball to win. I'm stacking it. I'm stopping Willis from running. I'm stopping A-Chance from running. So he's off the list for me. Bijan and Gibbs, obviously nothing
money.
You can say wrong to them, but yeah, just the money, right? And then you got Jeremiah Love, who's got a lot of money as well, which on a rookie deal, which is only going to go up. I would be happy with any 3 of those guys, but the guy that I would want, because it's the guy I enjoy watching more, is Jeremiah Love.
Okay. And I think that's interesting too, because he is by far the one you're going to invest the most in, but he's also the youngest. So
and you 21, get him for, like, I think he's one of those running backs that's going to be 10 plus years, like Adrian Peterson.
Oh, I could see it. And Peterson probably would have went longer if it weren't for that ACL.
Yep. But that's who I'd go with, Jeremiah Love. Fantasy Light. All right, we are into Fantasy Light, and today we are talking about our bust for the 2026 season coming up. We'll call up Alex's list here. So Alex's first 5 for his 2026 bust are Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers, Bucky Irvin of the Buccaneers, Trey McBride of the Cardinals, Rashid Rice of the Chiefs, and Dalton Kincaid of the Bills.
Yeah, so big names here. Part of it for me comes down to injury, and for me, bust isn't so much that I'm just not ever going to own a lot of these guys. Like Trey McBride, He's too good to just say I'm not touching him. It's more I don't like the cost and the price. And there's a lot of question marks, especially like quarterback situation, and then new offense, and how much was that offense revolving around him because he was all they had, and now they actually have what looks like two receivers on the outside in Michael Wilson and hopefully the step we expect from Marv. So
Better fucking
questions
tell
all
him.
around there. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking Marv pissing me off.
And
You know
then-
how much I invested in you?
Right. And then CMC and Bucky, it's of course injury. McCaffrey is coming off a huge workload, and in the past when he had that big workload, he left or missed a ton of time with injuries.
And McCaffrey got hurt yesterday too. He wasn't on that list, but he had some type of soft tissue injury in his calf, I think.
Wasn't just a rest day?
No, it was like something was like bothering him that they gave it to him off.
Well, calf is also one of the past injuries he had that caused him to miss a lot of time, I believe too.
Yep.
So, you got any thoughts on any of those busts?
I almost put Trey McBride onto my list just because we don't know what that quarterback situation is going to look like. And Gardner Minshew will throw to the outside if it's him. So I almost thought about it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not investing at him as a tight end too at that price. So that's why I don't think he can live up to that. That's why I thought about putting him on there, but he's still probably tight end too, just not about where he's going.
Right. That, and like you said, it's quarterback situation this year, but also let's say it's Carson Beck. You still got that rookie quarterback, and it's tough for rookie quarterbacks to really, really support a tight end, which we saw it from last year in Harold Fannin with the Browns, rookie quarterback, between Shadur and Gabriel, but that was also Stefanski, who we know loves to design his offense around the tight end.
Well, Brock
we don't
Purdy
have that same
loved
situation.
George Kittle, his rookie year. That's when Kittle set the record.
Right, and that's also Shanahan offense. Like that's also George Kittle we're talking about, right? So Kittle's already that established, hey, our offense, Kittle's been a big part of it from day one. So
all right, well, we'll get to your next five here. We got A Chance of Miami, which is named here. Jordan Love from the Bucks, Patrick Mahomes from the Chiefs, Kerryon Williams from the Rams, and Derrick Henry from the Ravens.
Yeah, so again, like all big names here, and it's all about that cost.
Derrick Henry is another one I thought putting on from that age, but again, I'm not expecting much from him.
But yeah, my whole thing is, it's one of the ones that worries me the most, even though he's one of the oldest on this whole list we have.
Well, I just don't get
especially at the running back position.
People have him so high. Like, I've never really got it his whole freaking career, because it's like there are games where a defense can literally take him out of the game because the coach is like, you can't catch, so you're done. And then it's been Mitchell in there or whoever, right? Like, so if you can miss games, and like we're talking on average 4 to 7 games a year, he gets removed from completely. I don't want you on my team.
Like the splits between wins and losses is just absolutely crazy with him.
Yeah,
and he's on the Ravens, so it helps because they've been a good, successful team. So he's had a lot of success. It's just like you said, it's kind of crazy. You can be game planned out
at that size too.
Right. Well, and that's part of it, right? Like his game style is, I'm going to just beat the defense to a pulp, and I'm just going to run them all over, and I'm just going to physically beat them down. By the time we get to the fourth quarter, they don't want to tackle me anymore.
Well, they shouldn't want to tackle him in the first quarter either.
Right. Then same thing with A-Chain. He's just the opposite, where he's also small enough that it could be one play that takes him out of a game.
Yeah,
but there's also
we'll see what punishment
only weapon,
because I think he's going to see a lot of 8-man in the box.
Well, and the other concern I have with him too is he had 80 receptions last year, and now he's got Malik Willis, who's not going to throw to his running backs like that as much. He's going to run a lot, so pass attempts in general are going to drop. Because that's one thing you never had to worry about with Tua was him running.
For sure. All right. Well, we'll hop over to my list here. We've only have one that was the same, which was Patrick Mahomes.
We didn't even touch on that one. So
it's just slowly deteriorating. I think Andy's slowly losing it. And Patrick just doesn't forcing it because they don't have the receivers anymore. Like ever since Tyreek Hill left, it just hasn't been the same. Kelsey's getting older, so I just don't see it. But other than him, I got Eli Stowers. he's going as tight end 10, man. Like, I get that's for dynasty, but I don't think he does anything this year. So don't friggin' think he's going to do much this year. They still got
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert, who's a good tight end. He's on another 1 more year deal. So I think it's going to be mostly him, and Stowers will come in, get immaculated slowly. Then I got Wan'Dale Robinson for the Titans. I just don't see it. I know he's Daboll's there and all that sort of stuff. And Wan'Dale come over, but you still got Calvin Ridley and Tate there, and Tate was drafted too high to not have him on the field.
Right. And then we also saw Gunnar Helm come on a little bit at the end of the season too.
Yep. Then I got Chase Brown for the Bengals. I don't see him as a guy you can trust to have out there as an RB1. Like, I know he's been doing good because there's nobody else there, but I like that Jamal Haynes that just went there from Georgia Tech too. I think if he can slide onto that roster spot and earn himself one, he'll slowly carve out a role if given some opportunities on the field.
Well, and the Bengals have also been one of those teams that have seemingly been trying to find their second guy, and they just brought back Samaje Perine again, which they keep doing, but then they don't play him. So I don't know if he's one of those player coaches because he knows the offense, or
he's that's pretty old now too.
It's an interesting, yeah.
I drafted him when he was a rookie. Like, that was
just crazy,
a long time ago.
Yeah, old man.
Then I'm ending up with George Pickens at the Cowboys here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
What's your idea with the bus there?
Man, they've got him inside the top 20 wide receivers. I don't see it. Unless CD Lamb goes down for a bunch of games, George Pickens just isn't going to have those huge games. He'll be an all right wide receiver to get you those points, but where he's going and getting drafted, I don't want to touch it. Like, I don't think he lives up to that potential.
Well, you know those, what was it, the last 6 games, I think it was, after Lamb came back, and they were both healthy the rest of the season, Pickens actually outperformed Lamb. He had less targets, but his stats were better.
Well, because it's more down the field stuff, right?
Right.
It's different styles. They work well together, and they should be paired together because it is a good pairing. I just don't see him living up to that.
To top 20?
But, yeah, in the top 20 wide receivers.
Okay, that might be a t-shirt bet. I might have to take you up on that. But to touch on the Patrick Mahomes thing real quick too, one of the reasons he was so successful for fantasy last year was his rushing. He started running the ball again. I don't think that's going to happen coming off the knee, but they also improved their defense. And every year, like you said, he hasn't been as good, but part of that is because that defense has been so much better. And I don't know if Andy Reid's losing it, or if it's just that Spagnuolo is so good on that defense and they keep giving him new pieces to play with that Mahomes doesn't have to do as much. And when you add in Kenneth Walker, I think there's a real chance this just turns into a running offense.
Well, that's what Andy wants.
How much? Yeah.
Andy always wants to do that and then use the pass game off of it. He just never has a running back where he can do that. Like, you think of the years he has, it's been with Brian Westbrook or Kareem Hunt, right? A little bit with Pacheco, but it never
Jamal really Charles even.
Did he have Jamal Charles? I thought Charles was done before Reed got there.
I thought he had him for 1 year.
I'm not 100% sure. So,
yeah.
But to end my list, I got Malachi Lemon of the Eagles. I think Donovan Wicks is the wide receiver 2 there. Malachi Lemon will come in for 3 wide receiver sets, so I don't think he's going to live up to that potential. But long term, he'll be all right. Then I got Tucker Kraft of the Green Bay Packers, because I think at some point Josh Jacobs is just going to be taken out and not available for the season with what he did in the offseason. Like, they're taking their time. They're making sure they do that right, getting all the T's crossed because it is such a horrendous friggin' situation. But I think, and then once he's gone, I think you're going to have to use Tucker Kraft and those tight ends to help in the blocking game just to get that run game going. So that's why I got Tucker Kraft on here. Then I also got Christian Watson as well from Green Bay.
Well, I guess we're down on Green Bay because I had Jordan Love in my bust list. And now you've got 2 of them.
Yep. And then I'm going with Alex Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts. I do not
He's still not practicing.
He is a wide receiver 1. They got, like, how are you going into the season with this as your best wide receiver?
Because it's the Colts, and you never know.
Then,
but he's still not even practicing. I think he's dealing with is it a foot injury?
Something,
I think
but even still, I'm not touching him.
Nope.
I just don't like. It's going to be hard. Like, I think he's an awesome wide receiver 2 for a team. But he's not a guy that can handle that double team coverage.
Well, it's Josh Downs, man. 5'9" Josh Downs. He's going to be their wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
Haven't you
we'll
heard?
see. Another off season of major hype of Josh Downs just to be disappointed once the season comes.
Oh, he gets a lot of catches. It's just the touchdowns are harder to come by.
Then we got Bichelle Tootin of the Jaguars to end my list.
Oh, it's a bust?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's because you're calling your shot on Chris Rodriguez. So I don't think they can both be great.
No. And I don't think
Not with the
Tootin
passing weapons they have. There's
think-
no way you can give them enough volume.
Tootin's a nice change of pace guy. Come in when you want somebody a little bit
Yeah.
quicker to throw the defense off, but I don't think he's one of these guys that you can hand the ever down back stuff to.
Well, and if you remember when we were doing draft prep with him, one of his issues in college was fumbling. And it's even come out since camp's only been in for a week now. One of the stories of camp was that he has said, and the coaches have talked about how this season he's getting more to not having to think about what's going on and holding onto the ball and ball security, but he can actually just focus on doing what he does.
Yeah.
So
time will tell. We will see.
yeah,
But
exactly.
that's our offensive bust for 2026.
Fantasy IDP.
All right, we are into our IDP talk, and we're going to be talking about busts for IDP as well. So we'll call up Alex's list here. And for Alex, oh, that's the wrong one. For Alex, he's got Devin Bush of Chicago, TJ Watt of the Steelers, Micah Parson of the Packers, Green Bay on this list, these lists a lot,
Yep.
Brian Branch of the Lions, and Tremaine Edmonds of the Giants.
Yep. So TJ Watt one is really hard for me to put on here.
I almost put him on mine too.
Yeah, part of it is just he's starting to miss more games, and he doesn't have Tomlin, and that's not to say that he's only good because of Tomlin, but I have no idea what to expect from this defense. Like, they've got a lot of talent, but how often do we talk about if you get the right fit for the players that you have, your defense doesn't always have to be the top end talent. You just have to know how to use them. I don't know. I think TJ Watt's a Hall of Famer, so maybe this is dumb. It's just I am skeptical of this team this year. I'm excited, but I'm also
dumb, but like it could be a down year, right? And you never
Right.
know with TJ Watt how much his injury is going to impact him during the season because he is a little bit brittle, but
And
he plays a tough position. So
that, and how much help is he going to have on the other side? You know, because it's one of those things with these guys is sometimes after a good season, offenses can come around and find ways to limit what you were able to do in the past. So it's just,
you know what
we'll
I
see.
would be doing if I was Mike McCarthy? The hell
what's
with the fullback position with Darnell Washington. Let's put him on defensive edge as well because that bastard's huge and he can move. Teach him those two moves.
he can.
All you need to do is a swim move and a power move, and just throw him out there on those third downs.
That'd be crazy. I think he's just too good of a blocker. I think they want to keep him on the offensive side.
Well, if you could
Do you
block,
remember
you can get off blocks?
Yeah, that's true. Do you remember last year when there was talk very briefly of moving him to tackle because they had a need and he was such a good blocker? Yeah, that's just nuts.
Yeah, and it's
Nuts.
crazy stuff you can do that. All right, your next five here, you got Van Ginkel from the Vikings, Bradley Chubb from the Bills, Dotson from the Dolphins, Barton from Tennessee, and Bernard from the Bills.
Yeah, and so a couple of these guys are just like Cody Barton. I think he's going to lose playing time big time to Cedric Gray, and they just drafted another guy. Drawing a blank now. Is it Anthony Hill out of Texas? I think it was.
That's it.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of these guys on bus. It's getting older or coming off injury. That was my thing with Brian Branch. He's going to miss a lot of time for the Lions, and they just lost somebody else that we talked about last episode. So injuries already piling up, and recovery is never the same for these guys. So just all around, and like you said with Michael Parsons on our last list, he's still not healthy with the back injury, and they're talking he might not even be back till November, December, trying to make it back for a playoff run. But
Parsons
how many?
says he's going to be back for Week 6 to play the Cowboys.
Yeah, okay, we'll see.
It's possible.
Yeah,
he's got to do a lot of work to make it happen, but it's possible.
Yeah, and there is always that motivation. These guys have extra motivation to get against their former team, depending on how it went, right?
Yep. And I think he would have a
So-
lot of motivation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It did not end well.
I'll tell you what though, it's this trade so far is making Jerry Jones look real smart.
Yeah, Jerry knows what he's doing. All right, we'll switch over to my list. I also have Devin Bush on my list from the Bears.
Okay.
He's just getting up there in age, deteriorating,
Named it.
hard to stay healthy. Same thing.
Right.
Then I got Nakobe Dean for the Las Vegas Raiders. People have him very high up there. He just switched from the Eagles over to the Vegas, but he couldn't crack that Eagles roster, which just tells me. And they drafted him to be that middle linebacker, and then what's his name? Zach.
Well, his
Bond.
contract expired, I thought. Didn't they just
Yeah,
let
but
him
even
walk?
like I'm talking before all that, like they let
Oh,
him
okay.
expire because his play on the field just wasn't matching what they thought it was, so they let him walk. But people think because the Eagles were so stacked that he's going to do something in Vegas. No, he had his shot for the Eagles, and he could have been their middle linebacker had he performed, but he didn't. So that's why I got him on the list because I just don't think he's got it for the NFL.
Well, and I think even in college, wasn't his big issue consistency?
Yep.
It was high motor when he wants to,
Yep.
but it wasn't always wanting to. So
Then my next guy is one of your sleeper picks in Alex Alonso for the Bucks.
oh man. All right.
Yeah, going out on a limb
Was it
there,
the
but
age?
I just age kind of, yeah, and I'm just feeling like a cliff coming. You know what I mean? Like it's total feel. Just
Well, it's possible.
feel
It also could be that you trust Dan Campbell. So if Dan Campbell's saying, "Hey, I don't need you anymore,"
Yep. Then I got Trey Hendrickson of the Ravens. He's just not going to get as much play time as he did with the Bengals, so I don't think he's going to put up those types of numbers where he's chasing sack records. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be good, but he's just in a rotation now because the Ravens are so stacked on that line. Then I got Xavier McKinney, another Packer.
Lots of
I think we're
Packers.
down on the Packers. We'll see when we get to the predictions.
Maybe.
It's not
Well, we
looking
did our
good for the
predictions. We
Packers
had
on
them.
this friggin' channel.
We predicted them third last week. Maybe we should flip them with the Vikings. As much as we hate Kyler, but Kyler ahead of them. Jeez,
Yep.
got a lot of Packer bus.
Then I got Chase Young going to the Saints. He's just, flopping around, been an okay rotational piece, but he's not worth owning in fantasy. Then I got Battle from the Bengals. I just think they're going to run the ball and control a little bit more, so he's not going to have a lot of passing going out there. Like I think the Bengals are going to be a little bit more smarter than before. Then I got Brisker for the Steelers. I like him, but I don't know. I just don't see it with McCarthy's type of style that he's going to play on that defense. And then I got Paul Abdibo of the Giants. That defensive line is so friggin' stacked. Those linebackers are so stacked. Abdibo is one of those slot wide receivers. I just don't think you're going to have a lot of slot play for wide receivers against this Giants team because that's going to allow those pass rushers to come down. So that means that Debo is not going to get as much work. So that's what, and he's been awesome for fantasy because he's one of the best slot corners in the game.
Yeah, he was with the Saints, so I remember him well. They just couldn't afford to pay him, so that's why he ended up with the Giants.
Yep. And then I got Alex Singleton of the Broncos. I think he was a nice piece for Sean Payton to find his guy, but I think he found him this offseason.
What with the new one?
Like I just know you're not going into friggin' another season with Alex Singleton as your middle linebacker.
Well, that's kind of like what happened with the Colts, right? Like with EJ Speed a couple of years ago, it was this guy was our best tackling threat in the middle of our defense, and then the next year just poof into the wind, gone.
Yeah, so they got Nick Benito as the right outside linebacker, Jonathan Cooper as the left, which are both like come down hard.
Yeah.
And then they got Singleton and Justin Strand in the middle, but back up they've got Reed Murdoch, who they just drafted in the 7th round.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. So maybe he is, but
So maybe it is Singleton again.
But he's still one of the weakest middle linebackers, so I wouldn't want to own him.
No,
if you can get him off the waiver wire, maybe. You know what I mean? But I'm not like investing a lot in him.
That's the other question too, is like one of the things you talked about with Jordan Battle and why he might be a bust is their defense might not be on the field as much. Well, I mean, if this Broncos defense somehow gets better or gels with another year in the system, well, now their defense isn't on the field as much either. And if the offense is able to sustain drives a little better instead of this 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 15 play, 80-yard touchdown, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. You know what I mean? It's just that offense. I don't know how much Bo Nix you have in your leagues or how much you paid attention to his scoring logs, but most of his scoring all came like end of the fourth quarter. Like,
yeah,
just crazy.
it's a Bronco thing because that's what Tebow did too.
Yeah, I guess.
I won a championship with Tebow, man. There's so many games. People are like, "You're out, you're out, you're out." I'm like, "Hey, fourth quarter time hasn't come
Yeah,
yet.
watch this.
What's that have to do with anything? That's Tebow time." And then he would just in that one quarter put up enough to beat most of the quarterbacks. Like he was finishing that year in the top 15 every week. It was crazy. And like going into the fourth quarter, there was some weeks I was in minus points.
Dude, wasn't he on like ESPN the magazine cover or something like that back when that was still like an actual thing?
Yeah, I think so.
He was on a whole bunch of magazine stuff. Like that fire that he caught at the end to get them to the playoffs, and then unfortunately beat my Steelers because of Demaryius Thomas.
That was a great fucking throw, man. Just fucking pulled it back, and then you just see it hang there, and then he comes forward.
Yep.
So yeah, that was great.
Well.
That's what we got for our IDP bus for 2026.
All-time matchups. We take an NFL team and we give that team's all-time lineup of anybody who's ever played for that team. Which team will win?
All right, we are into all-time lineup, and today we are talking Indianapolis Colts. So when you talk about Colts, we go to quarterback. Obviously, we got Peyton Manning up there in the conversation. Johnny Unitas, I would say, is in that conversation. And I like to throw Jim Harbaugh in that conversation because that's kind of when I started watching football, and Jim Harbaugh was the comeback kid that year. I think he had 8 comebacks for the Colts. Didn't win them all, but like would come back and get them into the game. So he became known as the comeback kid. And then they drafted Peyton Manning. He left football forever, started his coaching career, and now back as a coach. But from all those, obviously Harbaugh doesn't beat out Manning. But you like Manning over you, Johnny Unitas?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just like we talked about earlier, I know this is like for a lineup, but Peyton's impact on the game, like the nature, the way he played. I told you before on this podcast, actually, like I used to hate watching him play because I'm like, just snap the ball, because I was young and stupid, just wanted to see the action. Like looking back now, even going back and watching some of those games, like the way he played was just nuts. The way he was able to dissect exactly what the defense was doing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and like
crazy.
When you go between the two, I think Johnny Unitas is a better leader. Personally, I think that.
Okay.
Like but for Peyton Manning's play style fits with more players than what Johnny Unitas's play style would. So I would be going.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a lot harder to block for a guy that can run around and hold the ball for 5 seconds before he makes play.
Yep. And I think they were both good quarterbacks too. We go to running back. I think it comes down between 2 of them. And then it becomes on that, do you consider the one a Colt? Because Marshall Faulk was a Colt and then was traded to the Rams to be the greatest show on turf, which gave the draft picks to the Colts to create what they did under Peyton Manning. And Edgar James is who they drafted with one of the picks that they got for selling Marshall Faulk to the Rams.
Yeah, so this one I don't consider Marshall Faulk a Colt personally. Like when I think of Marshall Faulk, I think of the Rams' greatest show on turf and the legacy he built there. And when I think of the Colts running backs, Edgerrin James is the one that comes to mind for me. Plus, I remember watching him not watching him, but remember highlight films of him at the U with the Hurricanes.
You don't want Donald, what's his name? Donald something. Where freaking Manning huts the ball. Damn it, Donald! He's running away. I forget what his name was. I remember people were big on him when he came out. He's like, no, he's not going to be any good. But I do like Marshall Faulk better, but Edgerrin James is more of a Colt guy to me as well. I totally agree with you on the wide receivers. I don't think there's any debate here between Marvin Harrison Sr., Reggie Wayne. Maybe you can go T.Y. Hilton or Pierre Garçon might be the argument, but I think T.Y. Hilton fits better for the slot.
And that was where Garçon was too. And now that I'm thinking about it, Garçon was also a track athlete.
Yeah, I love Garçon, man.
He was so much fun. You know, he's from well, I don't know if he's from here, but he went to school here in my hometown.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I actually watched him play at that college stadium, which, shoot, I want to say it's like super small, maybe 10, 20,000. It might have grown now, but at the time, like, it was small enough. Like, if you were at the top of the stands, you could see perfectly clear and probably throw something to hit them without too much effort. Like, you didn't have to be a baseball player to throw something and hit the players. Like,
I like those stadiums because I'm loud.
oh yeah.
So everybody
Oh,
hears
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Even when I go to an NFL game, man, if I want to get a player's attention, I get their attention. They always look
Yeah.
because I'm just that loud. My prison voice has developed to be really loud to have to cut through all that rap music and stuff that's blaring.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Uh,
screaming with your diaphragm and whatnot.
Yep. That brings
Yep.
us to tight end. Dallas Clark, you got to have him paired up with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Just
And then, as mentioned earlier in this episode, with Freeney and Matheson, you're not freaking going anywhere else on those edges.
No.
Like,
yeah,
that's
that's
basically
exactly what I was
automatic to me when you're talking Colts.
thinking. Yep. Now, what about D tackle?
Well, I think you
Yes.
got to have Buckner in there, like you got him as well.
Yeah.
And I really
And-
couldn't find anybody else to kind of go against your Glover. So,
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. It's kind of crazy. Is both D edges played at the same time together, and both D tackles played at the same time together. So that's where I think the continuity on this team is pretty impressive. And you also start to look at it and you're like, man, a lot of these guys were Peyton's guys.
I find it very interesting when we do these all-time lineups. Because you're like, okay, you can kind of see who the GM is and how it all worked and how the franchise actually
Yeah.
works as a whole, right? Like if you can cover many generations and making arguments and whatever, but this one here, it's like, okay, it seems the Peyton Manning era, kind of Unitas eras, those are pretty much it because
Yeah,
they
those are the
didn't
ones that
seem to
had it
have
going.
anybody else in any other positions and any other times where they didn't have those quarterbacks.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, very weird. That brings us to linebacker. So you had Leonard, Brackett, and Cribbs.
Yeah, I believe that's who I had.
I never got the linebackers. I meant to. So I would have Leonard in there for sure, but I don't really. None of them else stick out to me like us.
Brackett was another one during the Peyton era. He was the guy that kind of ran the defense.
Oh, I mean, like stick out like Shaquille Leonard. Like when you think linebacker,
Oh yeah,
it's like Leonard pops up. Like if I was to say
for sure.
linebacker for the Ravens, right? Like I'd get
yeah, Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis. I'd
Yeah.
have Suggs. You know, like I could go through a bit of a
Mhm.
list, but there's none that stand out other than Leonard to me.
That's how I felt. That's why I think this position I think was the hardest one. Like Leonard was the only one that was like a lock for me.
Well, I was supposed to go back and look, Alex, because I couldn't think of anybody else at the top of my head for linebackers, and I just forgot to go
Yeah.
online and call up some names.
That's all good.
Safety position, you got Bob Sanders and Bethel. I would go Bob Sanders and Kelvin Hayden.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember him.
Big hitter.
So-
big hitter.
That was Bob Sanders too, and he's actually one that I'm glad you brought up too, because I remember him as being that hard-hitting safety that was better than people thought. Like he's one, even you and I who love the safety position, I don't think we give him enough credit for how good he was.
No, we don't. But there was a lot of good safeties in his era. Like
That and like those good safeties that we talk about were huge parts of their defense and their team as a whole, where Bob Sanders, you think about the Colts, you're not thinking about that defense. You're thinking about Peyton on the other side and Marv and Reggie and Edgerrin James.
and a lot like the Colts did a lot of leaving one safety high too when Peyton
Mhm.
was there, and they'd bring an extra guy in the box because they faced a lot of more running teams at the time.
Yeah.
And cornerback, you got Vernon Davis and Eugene Daniel,
Yep.
and I've got Bobby Boyd from the Johnny Unitas team on us.
All right,
One of those two guys.
Yeah, he was the one I almost went with, but instead of Eugene, but Eugene was a fun name, so why not, right? But
Yep.
Vontae Davis, like I know last time we talked about him was him leaving his team at halftime, but he was a very good corner at one point. So might as well bring him up in the good side.
They should have just let him be retired, man, because I think he was in that mode as soon as he retired, and then the Bills talked about, and that's
Yeah.
still like, no, I don't got it anymore.
Yeah.
We need you for the second half. I'm done embarrassing myself. He takes off his shit and leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the best football stories ever. All right, so that gives
fun.
us our all-time Indianapolis Colts team is Peyton Manning, Edgar James, Marvin Harrison Sr., Reggie Wayne, Pierre Garçon, and Dallas Clark on offense. That's pretty stacked team there.
Yes.
Defense,
Yes, it is.
Defense, we got Freeney and Mathis, Buckner and Glover. Linebacker, Shaquille Leonard, Cribbs and Brackett. At the safety position, Bob Sanders and Kelvin Hayden. And at cornerbacks, Bobby Boyd and Vernon Davis. Pretty good all-time team for the Colts. A little bit better than I thought they would have been.
Oh, I agree. It ended up being easier, I thought, to do. Like, some of the teams we go in and it's like, okay, well, some of these positions are pretty hard to pick. Aside from linebacker, just because I feel like there wasn't enough linebacker talent for the Colts team to pick.
It's almost like they don't care about it, right?
Yeah.
Like if we hit on a guy, that's okay, but we're going with top D line here and top corners and defensive backs, and we won't worry about the middle of the field.
Yeah, I think they got a guy now though. I don't remember who they drafted. It was one of the guys we like. Not Rodriguez. He went to Miami. Anthony Hill went to Tennessee.
It was a guy we liked. I forget who it is.
It was the Georgia guy. 2 initial first name. CJ Allen.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally drafted a guy.
He's a big sleeper on a lot of IDPs I saw. But
I like him a lot.
That's our all-time lineup for the Colts.
Prediction time. What do we see? How do we see it? Do we see the future or do we not?
All right, welcome to our NFL prediction time when we try to tell you what's going to happen in the 2026 season. So let me get all this called up here. We'll go with Alex's predictions for the AFC North that we're doing today. So his standings, he's got the Steelers finishing first, Ravens second, Bengals third, and the Browns fourth. He's got for his top quarterback, Joe Burrow, the Bengals. Bengals are going to be a pretty common theme on here.
Pretty common, yeah.
Yeah. Top running back, he's got Chase Brown of the Bengals. Top wide receiver, Chase Brown of the Bengals. And then he switches over to his second team with top tight end, Harold Fannin Jr., and top rookie, KC Concepcion of the Browns. And his bold prediction was that the Steelers will win the division first year without Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, that's definitely a bold prediction. And I would say hopeful, but not to be expected necessarily. It's just I really had a hard time picking the division winner because A, I don't like the Ravens, but B, they also just lost their longtime tenured coach. Cincinnati's defense was so bad last year, I don't think that they can make that 1 year leap to all of a sudden be division winners because this division also just beats up on each other. And sorry, Browns fans, I don't think you have the quarterback, even if it is shittier, to be a division winner in this division right now. After trading Myles Garrett.
Shador's at a point where he's going to do anything better, but you'll see in my predictions what I got coming up for Shador.
All right. It's just, and with the Ravens too, like I still have concerns about their offensive line. It's one of the reasons Derrick Henry's on my bust list.
Yeah.
Like those tackles did not play well, and they just replaced 3 of them, or 3 of their 5 offensive linemen. And that's also not typically a good thing.
Well, you have the Ravens higher than I got them.
Okay. All right.
So we'll go to my list.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I've got the Bengals winning this division.
Okay.
If Zach Taylor doesn't do it now, he's got to be fired because you can't do it. If you can't do it with John Harbaugh gone, Mike Tomlin's gone, you're got to be gone, man. Like, come on. So,
well, I'll tell you what, the way they do it, just to add to your point, they need to start regular, not like this 4 to 6 week build up.
The starters are starting the game for all preseason games. They're going to be playing.
Good for them, man. They need to try something. Right?
He knows this is it. You're on the hot seat, Zach Taylor. You better win this fucking division and get to the playoffs.
Yeah, you just saw, I would say, 2 Hall of Fame coaches get fired from your division, and you were the longest tenured coach in that division now. You have to know you're on the hot seat.
And the Browns with Munkin, I think he's a one and done coach because they couldn't get the guy they wanted, I believe.
I think you're right, just based on the fact that 66-year-old coaching hires don't typically work very well.
Yeah, so that's why I got the Browns there. Not so much of Shadur Sanders, but more so for Monken and the 1 year done thing. My top quarterback and top wide receiver are no different than yours, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. With this division, I don't know how you look at it anywhere else. I did think about putting DK Metcalf in as the top wide receiver with what they're planning, but I know they do that with Chase. So I'm not going to take out the for sure thing I know to put in a guy that I think is going to jump up a lot. My top running back may surprise you, Rico Dowdle of the Steelers.
Okay.
Do I think he starts the season as RB1? No. Do I think he's
you think it's Warren?
Running back for Mike McCarthy, and by week 3 he's the starter? Yes. And I think he's going to finish in the top 10 for running backs.
So you think they don't just go Dowdle off the bat?
No.
That's kind of what I'm leaning, actually. I think
right now it's Jalen Warren, but I don't see that staying too long. Dowdle fits friggin' McCarthy's system perfect. Like, look what he did with the Cowboys when he was there before he went to Carolina. He was lighting it up. That's why he got that big payday, which is also why he got the big payday for the Steelers, was more so from his time with the Cowboys than with the Panthers.
Well, I mean, we saw that 2-game stretch where he had like 450 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah. He could do it. He just needs the opportunity.
Well, so I'm thinking that they go straight to Dowdle, because part of this too is, aside from the fact that Warren's been the back there, what incentive do you have to go to Warren? Because Dowdle is actually the better pass blocking of the two. He, looking at stats, is more efficient as a pass catcher, and he's the bigger body that can run better between the tackles. So why wouldn't they just go straight to Dowdle if he fits the system better? As much as I like Jalen Warren.
And that's where I'm wondering why McCarthy just said this week that Warren's a starter. Like, is that just the Steelers' way? He's been here longer until Dowdle steals the job from him. I'm just going to do this and kind of go through with it. But at some point, Dowdle's taking that job. Like, there's no doubts about it in my mind. My top tight end, Darnell Washington of the Steelers.
All right, so a projection there at least. But
Yep.
they're also talking about all kinds of crazy ways to use them, so I could see it.
Yep.
Refresh me. What was your order again? I think I missed it.
Bengals,
Aside from
Steelers, Ravens, Browns.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've been different on our last 2 divisions, actually. But the last team has been the same both times.
Yep.
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I'm not sure.
We'll see what we know. And then I got my top rookies, the same as yours, Casey Concepcion from the Browns. I think he's going to be their wide receiver 1 there for the year. So I think he actually can win Rookie of the Year depending on what these 2 rookie quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
Then I got a couple bold predictions here. I got Shador Sanders will cement himself as the QB of the future for the Browns this season. Not to say he's going to have a fantastic season and do all this amazing stuff, but he's going to do enough where the Browns finally say he's our guy moving forward.
Now, here's where we can see how spicy this is. Are you talking just for next season? So guaranteed starter for the 27 season, or guaranteed like he's going to be getting himself an extension?
QB for the next 10 years.
All right, that's spicy, sir.
Yeah. And then my second one, DK Metcalf will be a top 5 wide receiver for fantasy football.
Okay. Well, that's rolling with the hype train. You know, I like it because if he's doing that, then the Steelers had to have a good season.
Man, DK has been with AJ Brown in college. Okay. AJ Brown did all that underneath stuff. DK just ran those long routes because he was faster. Not that he can't do it, because he's big, fucking strong and everything. Then he goes to Seattle. He's got who was there with him? Tyler Lockett, who did all that stuff too. Then they brought Cooper Kupp, who did all that sort of stuff. Then they traded him. There was nobody for the Steelers to take any heat off of him. So this is the first time DK is going to have a role where he can do everything on the field. He's going to explode.
We will see, because I think it really depends on Rodgers and that arm, and like how can he be mobile enough to get the pass off for those deep routes to develop. I think that's part of my hesitation. And like, which McCarthy offense are we getting? I think it's going to be pass heavy. I think that's good. That means more volume, at least, for potential targets to DK Metcalf.
Well,
it's
just think that Cowboys offense that McCarthy ran, or the Green Bay offense with Devontae Adams. Like, if you're putting DK in that role, he's getting a lot more looks, which just naturally he should be going up.
Yeah, it's also, is he still eating the candy doing that thing, or is he like committed now?
Oh, he's going to eat the candy. Why wouldn't he eat the candy? Marshawn Lynch ate the fucking candy. He's going in the Hall of Fame.
Well, That's true.
At some point, I don't know if he's there yet, but I don't think he is. He's definitely
We'll
in
see.
for that beast mode friggin' run.
I'll say it is a new staff coming in, so there's part of it that is related to that, I'm sure. But there is a lot of positivity and good vibes coming out of Steelers camp so far. Obviously early, but it's been overly positive, like more so than I can remember in past years.
Oh, for sure. But that's our predictions for this week. We'll have more next week when we come back on Tuesday. And we got football. Preseason's here, getting ready for the season. Get your fantasy teams going. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good one.